Well, the three-day BRICS Summit is all set to get underway today in Chinese southwestern city of Xiamen, where India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Chinese President Xi Jinping are likely to meet on the sidelines of the summit. Now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi's meeting with China's President Xi Jinping on the sidelines of the BRICS Summit will have a lot of significance, especially since this comes after the 75-day-long border standoff. Prime Minister Modi and President Xi Jinping are expected to discuss the confidence-building measures, and India is likely to push for new mechanisms to address the dispute along the line of actual control. Now, who blinked first in Doklam and who was the real winner is a debatable issue and will be settled as things unfold in the long run. Now, India is likely to demand concrete measures against terror infrastructure in the AFPAC region. It also will be seeking for a broader framework for combating terror worldwide. So how important is BRICS Summit and how does India view the BRICS is something that has been made clear in a tweet that has been put out by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Now, this is what Modi has tweeted, where he said India attaches high importance to BRICS, which has begun a second decade of its partnership for progress and peace, unquote. This is what Narendra Modi tweeted about BRICS ahead of his visit to Xiamen. Now, apart from Xi Jinping, Prime Minister Modi will also be holding bilateral talks with Russia's President Vladimir Putin. The presidents of Brazil and South Africa will also be meeting Narendra Modi in the BRICS Summit.
On the 28th of August, India and China signaled an expeditious disengagement from their standoff on the Doklam Plateau. Exactly 1 week afterwards, Prime Minister Narendra Modi of India will meet with President Xi Jinping of China here in Xiamen on the margins of the 9th BRICS Summit. Now, that meeting will likely set the tone, the pace for future interactions between India and China, given that the relationship has been marked by a mix of cooperation and competition. Ramesh Ramachandran, WION, Xiamen in China.
Now, ahead of the BRICS Summit, security has also been tightened and all preparations have been made for the biggest international event to be hosted by the Chinese coastal city of Xiamen from today till the 5th of September. The Xiamen is ready to host the 9th BRICS Summit as China holds the rotating chair of the emerging market bloc this year. The Chinese President Xi Jinping will chair BRICS Summit in Xiamen and is expected to pitch for building stronger partnerships within and beyond the 5 BRICS nations. China is looking forward for more cooperation amongst the BRIC countries, especially with Brazil. China and Brazil are also jointly building an electricity expressway in the air in Brazilian rainforest.
Brazil is having a slowdown in its economy for the 3rd year, and so the economic conditions are different. But I do believe that with more cooperation among BRICS, the difficulties which some countries are facing, such as Brazil, I think we will be able to overcome these difficulties with more cooperation.
And also, Russian ambassador to China has expressed high expectations of the BRICS Summit, stating that this is an economic cooperation that will shape the 21st century.
Именно Восток, именно Азиатско-Тихоокеанский регион – это наиболее динамичная часть мировой экономики. Ну, а самым динамичным нашим партнером в этом регионе является Китай, как самая динамичная экономика региона. Таким образом, все последние годы наши экономические отношения с Китаем развиваются стабильно, несмотря на перепады мировой конъюнктуры, и Китай из года в год является экономическим партнером России номер 1. И что самое главное, как и в других областях сотрудничества БРИКС, так и здесь мы, страны БРИКС, ищем ответы на современные вызовы и угрозы, во-первых, на основе взаимного доверия, а во-вторых, и, может быть, это самое главное, на основе поиска коллективных ответов на эти самые вызовы. Я бы особо отметил, что именно в этой области взгляды и позиции, и подходы Китая и России практически совпадают по основным направлениям или очень близки. Во всяком случае, не противоречат друг другу.
Well, apart from the 5 nations which constitute the BRICS, China has also invited 5 other nations to participate in the BRICS Summit this year. Now, these are Egypt, Kenya, Tajikistan, Mexico and Thailand. Now, China has been campaigning for the creation of what it calls as the BRICS Plus arrangement to enable non-BRICS nations to also play an active role within the grouping. The demand for expansion of BRICS mechanism was seen as China's move to garner wider influence for itself. And also the Egyptian ambassador to China has hailed the BRICS Plus initiative. Now, Egypt is the first nation of the African continent to become a part of the expansion initiative proposed by China.
The idea of interacting with one of the biggest developing countries, which are the members of the BRICS, is very useful to other countries, those who are not members. It establishes good bridges of communication, of interaction, of opportunities as well. There is the possibility of meeting with perhaps some companies in China and interacting and exchanging views and perhaps listening to the updates and follow-ups of the business of these companies and the investment they are doing in Egypt, or companies that present new ideas for projects to be conducted in Egypt.
Well, the other big nation, which is not a part of the BRICS grouping but would like to ally itself closer to this new economic grouping, is Mexico, which has also welcomed the expanded cooperation with the BRICS nation.
To expand cooperation among countries which are looking for new formulas for development, for cooperation, looking for resources, financial, industrial, knowledge and otherwise, that we can join together so as to find this common ground for better opportunities for our peoples.
And also the International Telecom Union Secretary has said that the BRICS telecom cooperation will boost the regional economic and social development.
那么这几个国家的国情啊不一样，他们这个通信技术的这个发展情况也不一样。比如说这个俄罗斯，它这个通信一直是他们那个很关注的一个研发重点。俄罗斯在这个卫星通信啊，在这个电视这方面，他们都在上个世纪60年代、70年代都是很领先的。那么现在他们也还在继续这方面这个发展力量很强。中国在这个移动通信领域啊，在这个互联网这个技术或者这个服务领域里面，它现在在这个全球现在发展的非常迅速，甚至可以说是在全世界数一数二的地位。
So as the 9th BRICS Summit kickstart today in Xiamen, WION's Ramesh Ramachandran is at ground zero and has sent us this report as to what to expect from the BRICS Summit, which is unfolding from today.
It will be the third meeting between Prime Minister Narendra Modi of India and President Xi Jinping of China. Remember, they met for a bilateral on the margins of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, or SCO, at its summit held at Astana in Kazakhstan in the month of June, followed by an informal meeting on the margins of the G20 summit at Hamburg in Germany. This meeting will be very crucial, and all eyes are naturally on the President Xi Jinping's meeting with Prime Minister Modi here in Xiamen on the margins of the 9th BRICS Summit.